My sister smiled at me across the conference table, the same loving smile she'd given me our entire lives, and I realized she'd just drugged my coffee. Not a stranger. Not an enemy. My sister. The person who was supposed to protect me had just crushed medication into my cup while four investors and a team of lawyers watched me reach for it. "You look tired, Evie. Drink up," Brianna said. Her voice was honey-sweet. Concerned. The perfect older sister helping me through the biggest deal of my life, a $2.4 million contract I'd spent 3 years building. The moment that would change everything. And she was trying to destroy it. My hands froze on the cup. One sip, and I'd black out. Sign the wrong clauses. Initial documents I'd never remember. Or worse, be so disoriented driving home that I'd never make it back. She wanted me to fail. Publicly. Completely. In front of everyone who mattered. I looked up at Brianna. At her designer clothes, her perfect ponytail, her concerned expression that made her actually look like she cared. Something cracked inside my chest, sharp and irreparable. Family can hurt you worse than strangers. Because you never see them coming. Because for one stupid second this morning, I believed she'd finally changed. That she'd finally been proud of me. But she hadn't come here to support me. She'd come here to watch me fall apart. My name is Evelyn Morgan. I'm 32 years old. 20 minutes ago, I switched our coffee cups. And Brianna? She just realized it. I could feel her eyes, sharp, calculating, cutting through the room. The next few seconds would decide everything. But to understand why I had to play this dangerous game, we need to go back 6 hours. If someone's ever tried to erase you, drop a heart emoji below. Let's build something they can't destroy. 6 hours before Brianna drugged my coffee, she showed up at my apartment with a smile I almost believed. Brianna showed up at 6 a.m. with expensive coffee and pastries. A hug that felt too perfect, like we were characters in a movie about sisters who actually liked each other. "Big day, little sister," Brianna said. I was 32. She was 35. She'd never called me little sister in her life. For one stupid moment, I let myself believe she'd changed. My skin prickled, but I was too excited to see it. She perched on my couch, watching me with strange intensity. The coffee cup was warm in my hands, luxury from the place she went to every morning while I made instant at home. She never bought me coffee. Ever. "I wasn't sure how you'd take it," she said. "So I got it black. Figured you could add what you want." The cup was already full to the brim. No room for cream. And that's when I noticed her hands were shaking. "Of course I came," Brianna said, fingers drumming too fast against her thigh. "This is huge, Evie. Mom and Dad would be so proud." Mom and Dad. The same parents who left her everything 8 years ago. She never mentioned what she did with the money. "So this deal, it's really $2.4 million? Brianna leaned forward, smile too wide. "In commission over 3 years," I said. Her smile froze. "That's almost 3 times what our parents' business sold for." The business she'd inherited. Sold. Spent. And never shared. "That's more than I made last year," she said. Brianna didn't work. She'd married money instead. Edward's software engineer salary funded the lifestyle she'd built her identity around. Pilates at 10. Charity brunches at noon. Spending someone else's success while pretending it was hers. "The signing is at 10, I told her. "I'll wait." She settled deeper, jaw tight. "I want to hear everything." I told her about the 3 years I'd spent on this deal. The building 7 other firms had failed to sell. Brianna twisted her wedding ring around and around. The expensive one Edward bought her. The one that represented everything she had and hadn't earned. "You've always been so driven," she said. "Do you ever wonder if it's worth it? Don't you want a life, Evie?" There it was. The implication that my choices were wrong. "I have a life," I said. "Do you? When's the last time you went on a date?" Brianna pressed. My jaw tightened. "I should get dressed. I'll drive you." She smoothed her shirt twice, 3 times. "That way you won't have to worry about parking." I almost said no. But her Range Rover had leather seats, and the conference center had impossible parking. That would be great, I heard myself say. Besides, Brianna added as we left, I want to be there when it happens. See your face when you sign. Something about the way she said when it happens made my skin prickle. Someone had warned me about moments like this, years ago, before they disappeared from family events entirely. Brianna smiled like she'd won something. But as I walked to my bedroom, I made a decision. Whatever game she was playing, I wasn't going to be her victim anymore. The conference room where my sister would try to destroy me sat 23 floors above the city, high enough that no one would hear me fall. My hands were steady as I shook each investor's hand. Richard, the lead investor, 60-something with silver hair, gripped my palm firmly. Ms. Morgan, we've heard excellent things. Brianna stood by the windows taking photos, playing supportive sister. Her hand kept adjusting her necklace, pulling it back and forth. Edward had met us in the lobby. Apparently she'd texted him for moral support I hadn't asked for. He looked uncomfortable, like he didn't want to be there. Brianna looped her arm through his. Now we're all here, she said, as if this was her deal. Her moment. The lawyers laid out the contracts. 3 years of work. 1 signature. That's when Brianna appeared at my elbow, with coffee I hadn't asked for. Setting the paper cup beside my contract folder, her hand pressing too hard on my shoulder. Thought you could use this. You've been going since 6 this morning. I hadn't asked for coffee. The conference center had full catering, but Brianna had brought this from somewhere else. A plain paper cup with no logo, still hot. Her voice dropped lower. You look tired, Evie. Drink up. Something in her tone made my skin prickle. I picked up the cup. Felt its warmth. 1 sip, and everything's gone. Wrong signature. Wrong clause. Or worse. Passed out at the wheel driving home. Then I saw it. Brianna's reflection in the window. Her phone angled wrong, camera pointed at the floor. But her eyes locked on my hands. On the coffee cup. On my lips. Watching me like a predator. Waiting for me to drink. My stomach dropped. I set the cup down, fingers trembling, and pulled out my phone. A text from an unknown number, sent 3 minutes ago. Don't drink anything your sister gives you. Ella. Brianna's college roommate who'd disappeared from family events over 5 years. Who'd sent me a cryptic message last Christmas. Be careful around B. I'd ignored it. Until now. Richard slid the contracts across the table. Whenever you're ready, Ms. Morgan. Brianna's phone rang suddenly. She jumped, fumbled for it. Sorry, I thought I had it on silent. She glanced at the screen and frowned. I need to take this. She stepped into the hallway. Edward followed. I had exactly 180 seconds. My hands moved before my brain caught up. I grabbed my coffee cup, the drugged one, and switched it with hers. Same paper cup, same lid, same steam. This is it. No going back. Am I becoming exactly what she is? But what choice did she leave me? My pulse thundered. No one noticed. They were all looking at contracts. I turned to leave the table, and stopped. I glanced at the window ledge where she'd prepare the coffee. White powdered dust on the wood. A streak where she'd wiped her finger. Too much. Way too much. My stomach dropped. I could turn around. I could say her name. Call her back into the room. Or I could keep walking. I kept walking. Some choices don't feel like choices until it's too late to undo them. Behind me, the coffee steamed untouched on the window ledge. I signed my name with adrenaline screaming through every nerve. Richard's handshake was warm. Congratulations, Ms. Morgan. This is just the beginning. It was. But not the way he thought. Brianna came back 3 minutes later. Smiling again. Everything apparently fine. But chewing the inside of her cheek. She walked toward the window ledge where I'd left her cup. I'd won. It was over. Her eyes flicked to the cup. Her hand froze. She knew. Brianna's face drained of color. Then she looked at me across the room. Our eyes locked. I saw her calculating. Deciding. Maybe she'd leave it. Walk away. Her hand moved. Lightning fast. She grabbed my cup, the one beside my contract folder, the one that was now safe, and swapped them again. My drugged cup was back in front of me. Everything narrowed to that moment. Her hand, the cup, the choice. She wouldn't drink it. She knew what was in there. Brianna picked up the safe cup from the window ledge and took a long, deliberate drink. Her eyes never left mine. And, still hot. My mouth went dry. She'd switched them back. Maybe no one noticed. Maybe I could fix this. Richard cleared his throat. Ms. Morgan, we have a few final items to review. Would you like some water? Coffee. He gestured to the cup beside my contract. The drugged cup. Everyone was looking at me. Brianna stood by the window, holding the safe cup, watching me with cold, victorious eyes. I picked up the drugged cup. She thought she'd won. She thought I hadn't noticed. But I'd been watching her my entire life. And I always had a backup plan. Actually, I said, voice perfectly steady. I'm fine. But Brianna, you look a little pale. Are you feeling okay? Her smile faltered. I'm fine. Are you sure? You should sit down. Here. I stood, walked over, and held out the poison cup. Switch with me. You need this more than I do. Her eyes went wide. She looked at the cup in my hand, at the safe cup in hers. No, she stammered. I insist. I pressed the drugged cup into her hand, taking the safe one. You drove all this way. You've been so supportive. The least I can do is make sure you're comfortable. She stared at the cup like it was a live grenade. Drink up, Brianna, I said. The room was silent. Edward was watching from the corner, confused. Richard was waiting. And Brianna was trapped by her own game. She had two choices: refuse and look suspicious, or drink it and suffer the consequences. Her hand trembled. She brought the cup to her lips and drank. They say what goes around comes around. I just sped up the process. Brianna lasted 12 minutes before the medication started taking effect. I signed the final pages. Shook hands. Accepted. Congratulations. The deal was done. Then I heard it. A soft gasp from the corner. Brianna was leaning against the wall, both hands pressed to her stomach. Her face had gone the color of concrete. Sweat beaded on her forehead. Edward rushed over. Babe, what's wrong? I'm fine, Brianna said, voice weak and shaking. Just need the bathroom. She stumbled toward the door. Her legs buckled. Edward caught her arm. Should I call someone? No.
Too sharp. Too panicked. She softened. No.
I just need a minute. Evie, can you? Her eyes found mine. Desperate. Come with me? I set down my pen. Of course. We walked into the hallway.
The door closed.
I pulled out my phone, opened voice memos, hit record, and slipped it back in my pocket. The moment we were alone, Brianna collapsed against the wall. Her breathing came fast and shallow. You switched them back, she said, voice strangled. I tilted my head. Did I? Don't. She was shaking. Full body tremors. You knew. You saw me switch them.
How?
I pulled out my phone, showed her the text from Ella. Her face crumpled. Oh my God. How much did you drink, Brianna? I asked. I don't know. 3 or 4 sips. Maybe 5. She grabbed my arm, fingers digging in. What was in it? You tell me. You're the one who brought it, I said. Evie, please, she whispered. What did you put in that cup? Her face went white. Something to make you... I crushed. She stopped. Swallowed hard. Am I going to be okay? I kept my voice calm. That depends. Medication like that can make someone black out. Make them sign documents they don't understand. Make them crash a car at 60 miles an hour. You'll survive. That's more mercy than you showed me, I said. Tears spilled down her cheeks. I'm so sorry.
No, you're not sorry.
You're just sorry it didn't work, I said. I was desperate. She was crying now, mascara running in black rivers. You were going to take everything. This deal, this money, everyone talking about how amazing you are. Do you know what it's like being the older sister, who is nothing? So you decided to drug me, I said. I just wanted you to fail. Her voice broke. Just once. I wanted to watch you fall apart, so they'd stop comparing me to you. Mom and Dad left me everything. I sold it all, spent it all. Brianna's voice cracked. Then you show up with your deal and I realized I have nothing. Behind us, the conference room door opened. Richard's voice echoed. Ms. Morgan? We're ready for photos. His eyes flicked to Brianna, then back to me. Concerned but professional. I looked at Brianna. At her tear-streaked face, her shaking hands, her complete collapse. How much did you drink? I asked again. I don't know. 4 or 5 sips, she said weakly. Then you're going to get very tired very soon. Trouble standing. Trouble thinking. Trouble explaining to Edward why you're suddenly incoherent, I said. And I'm going to let you figure that out on your own. She'd tried to destroy me in front of everyone who mattered. Now she'd face the consequences in front of the one person whose opinion she cared about most. I turned to walk away. Evie, wait. She grabbed the wall, legs barely holding her. What are you going to do? I looked back. I'm going to take my photos. Celebrate my deal. And then I'm going to decide if you're worth the police report. Her eyes went wide. You wouldn't. Try me, I said. I walked back into the conference room. Left her swaying in the hallway with Edward asking questions she couldn't answer. And I smiled for the cameras with the steadiest hands of my entire life. 3 days later, my phone exploded with messages. From Edward. Please call me. Brianna won't tell me what happened. From Brianna. We need to talk. Then, Evie, please. Then, what do you want from me? I didn't respond to any of them. My first commission check cleared. $800,000 wired directly with a notification that made my phone buzz. Almost the exact amount she'd gotten from our parents' business. The amount she'd spent on a life she never worked for. Except I'd earned this. Every single penny. And she tried to take it from me. I finally called her 1 week after the signing. 7 days of silence. 7 days of her wondering. 7 days of me holding all the power. I blocked my number, listened to it ring 4 times. Hello. Brianna answered, voice cracked from crying. Hi, Brianna, I said. Oh, thank God. Evie, I've been trying, she said. I need you to listen, I said. Silence. I have your confession recorded. Every word. What you put in the coffee, your exact words, everything. I also have text messages from Ella with testimonies about what you did to her in college. Patterns that go back years. She was crying now. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to leave me alone. Completely. No calls, no texts, no surprise visits. You're going to tell everyone we grew apart, naturally. And you're never, ever, going to interfere with my life again, I said. Brianna's voice shook. And if I don't, then everyone hears what you did. And I mean everyone, I said. You wouldn't. Yes, I would. Because you tried to destroy me, Brianna. And I don't forgive that. The line went quiet except for her ragged breathing. I'm so sorry, she whispered. A bad sister. A worse person. And someone I don't want in my life anymore, I said. Evie, please, Brianna begged. Goodbye, Brianna, I said. I hung up, blocked her number, blocked Edward's. But would Brianna really give up? Or would she find another way to hurt me? 2 weeks later, I got my answer. And a text from Ella. Heard you survived. Proud of you. E. I stared at it. Started to reply. Then deleted the draft. Some debts you can't repay. Only pay forward. I was having dinner with a client when my office called. Emergency. Someone waiting to see me. I walked into my office building lobby expecting another client. Instead, I found Edward. He looked exhausted. Hollow. Like he hadn't slept in days. I'm filing for divorce tomorrow morning, he said. I thought you deserved to know first. The words hung between us. She told you the truth? I asked. Last night. She broke down and told me everything, he said. I can't stay married to someone who would do that to her own sister. My chest tightened. I'm sorry. Don't be. He shook his head. You deserved better from her. I did too.
Evie?
For what it's worth, he said quietly. I always thought you were the remarkable one, not her.
You.
Something in my chest loosened. That means more than you know. He nodded once, then turned to leave, shoulders slumped, footsteps heavy on the marble floor. I stood there watching him go, watching the final piece of Brianna's perfect life walk away into the cold night air. And then, for just a second, I let myself feel it, the grief I'd been avoiding. Not for who Brianna was, but for who I'd once believed she could be. For the sister I'd never actually had. Brianna had spent her entire life trying to make me small. And in the end, the only person she destroyed was herself. I'd won. But the cost was a family I could never get back. Still, I wasn't broken. And that made all the difference.